Hey guys, it's Saga from TecworkZ. In this video, let us compare the OnePlus 8 with the OnePlus 7T and see which one should you get. Looking at the comments on my camera comparison between these two phones, a lot of you guys still seem very confused, so hopefully this video will clear things up for you. Now I'm not going to waste any time and we will jump right into this comparison. First things first, if you are already using the OnePlus 7T, keep using it. You already have a very good phone and the OnePlus 8 is not enough of an upgrade over the 7T. So that is it for the guys who already have the OnePlus 7T. Now if you don't have the 7T and you are using an older phone, the choice is going to be a bit difficult and there are a few things that you need to consider. We are going to start with the most important factor that anyone worries about while getting a new smartphone: price. There are two variants of the OnePlus 7T and both of them have received a price cut. The 8GB RAM and 128GB storage variant goes for 34,999 rupees, while the 8GB RAM and 256GB storage variant is available for 37,999 rupees. There are three variants of the OnePlus 8. 6GB RAM and 128GB storage variant available exclusively at Amazon is priced at 41,999 rupees. 8GB RAM and 128GB storage variant is priced at 44,999 rupees, and the maxed out 12GB RAM and 256GB of storage variant is priced at 49,999 rupees. So there is a 7,000 rupees price difference between the base variants of both these phones. Now if price is the most important factor for you, and if you just can't stretch your budget beyond 35,000 rupees, then the OnePlus 7T seems to be your only option. If you can spend the extra money, but you want to figure out if the OnePlus 8 is worth that money, let us see what the extra 7,000 rupees gets you. Just a side note, the base variant of the OnePlus 7T is almost always conveniently out of stock, so if you are looking at the 7T, be ready to spend 38,000 rupees. The build quality of both these phones is pretty much the same. Premium feeling Gorilla Glass sandwiching a metal frame. Personally, I feel the round camera module on the 7T gave it a different look and a better personality, while the OnePlus 8 just looks more like the OnePlus 7 Pro. Both colors of the 7T get matte finish with etched glass, while only one color on the OnePlus 8 has this etched glass. Other two just have regular glossy glass back. Personally, I feel the matte glass back looks much better. Now while the build quality is pretty much same on both these phones, curved glass front of the OnePlus 8 makes it feel much more premium in hand. I don't like how the light refracts on these curved edges while watching videos, but it definitely looks cool. Buttons and ports are also similar on both these phones. On the right side, they have the power/sleep wake button and the alert slider above it. At the top, there is just a noise cancelling microphone. On the left side, we have the volume rocker, and at the bottom, there is a SIM tray on the left, a microphone besides it, USB Type-C port for charging and data transfer, and the speaker grill on the right. SIM tray on both can hold 2 nano SIM cards. The difference is, OnePlus 8 has support for 5G connectivity. I know 5G is non-existent in India right now, and chances are it will be this way for another 1.5 or 2 years at least. But you should know that OnePlus smartphones are good for 3 to 4 years, so if you buy the OnePlus 8 now, you will be ready for the first 5G wave when it hits us. This is just something that you should think about while making your purchase decision. Both these phones also get a stereo speaker setup and they can get pretty loud, but the ones on the OnePlus 8 deliver a bit deeper audio, making it feel richer. Sadly, none of these get a 3.5mm audio jack. Coming to the displays, both the phones have a 6.55-inch AMOLED screen with a resolution of 2400 by 1080 pixels and 90Hz refresh rate. Colors, contrast and viewing angles are excellent on both these phones. Both of them also get bright enough to be easily viewable in outdoor lighting conditions. 7T gets a more traditional water drop or dewdrop style notch, whereas the OnePlus 8 gets a punch hole style cutout for the front facing camera. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Since the display on the OnePlus 8 is curved, its side bezels seem to be much smaller than they actually are. I have never been a fan of the curved edges, because that usually means that there are going to be a lot of accidental touches as the palm rejection is not that great, especially on OnePlus smartphones. Now I have this issue with the OnePlus 8 as well, but only while using it without a case. While using it with a case, I found that the accidental touch issue is reduced to almost negligible because my palms are no longer too close to the display. The bottom chin is ever so slightly smaller on the OnePlus 8 than on the OnePlus 7T. In-display fingerprint sensor on both these phones is pretty fast and accurate. Since the OnePlus 8 has curved edges, trying to reach its fingerprint sensor to unlock it is a bit easier. Its fingerprint sensor is also more conveniently located whereas the one on the 70 is a bit too low for the finger to naturally reach. For the internals, OnePlus 70 gets the Snapdragon 855 Plus processor with Adreno 640 GPU and 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM coupled with 128 or 256 GB of storage. While the OnePlus 8 comes with a newer Snapdragon 865 processor with Adreno 650 GPU, X55 5G chipset, 6 or 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM with 128 GB of storage, and 12 GB of LPDDR4X RAM with 256 GB of storage. I think a bigger difference is in the battery capacities of these phones. 70 comes with a 3800 mAh battery, which is not enough to take it through a full day if you are a heavy user. I mostly got 5 or 5.5 hours of screen on time on the 70, and sometimes you can push it to 6 hours. But the 4300 mAh battery on the OnePlus 8 is capable of comfortably taking you throughout the day even if you are a heavy user. You can easily get 7+ hours of screen on time on the OnePlus 8. In certain situations, you can always drop down the display refresh rate to 60Hz to save up some battery on both these phones. And if you feel that you can't really tell the difference between the 60 and 90Hz mode, you are actually better off leaving the phone on to 60Hz all the time. Now I know some of you might find this suggestion to be a bit crazy, but I have shown this phone to quite a few of my friends and almost 80% can't tell the difference even when I switch it from 60 to 90Hz and back in front of them. When it is time to charge them up, both of them come with a 30T watt charger which can juice them up pretty fast. Sadly, none of these phones get the wireless charging support like the OnePlus 8 Pro. OnePlus 8 gets a few new internals, and while this makes it a bit faster, chances are you won't even notice the difference unless you compare these phones side by side. When we open same apps on both these phones, OnePlus 8 is a hair faster at opening all of them. That doesn't mean that the OnePlus 70 is slow by any means. It still packs in a flagship processor from last year and is a very fast and capable phone and will remain so for a few more years to come. You can even play demanding games on it and it will run them without even breaking a sweat. It's just that its battery will not last as long as the OnePlus 8. So you might wonder, what exactly is the use of the new, more powerful processor on the OnePlus 8? As I showed you, it is a bit faster at opening apps. It gets a 5G modem, and all of this will help it keep performing at its peak capacity for longer than the OnePlus 70. The power management and the image signal processor are also better on the new chip inside the OnePlus 8. Since we are on the topic of image signal processor, let us check out the cameras on these phones. Both the phones get a triple camera setup on their back, but the design of the camera module is very different on both. Primary camera on both these phones get the same optically stabilized 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 sensor. On the OnePlus 70, it is coupled with f1.6 aperture and 7-element lens, which gives it a 26mm focal length. While on the OnePlus 8, it gets f1.75 aperture and a 6-element lens, again giving it a 26mm focal length. The aperture size and lens optics take a step back when we go from the OnePlus 70 to the OnePlus 8. I'm not sure what OnePlus is trying to pull here, because even after charging more money for the OnePlus 8, the lens optics on its primary camera seem to be inferior than the OnePlus 70. Next camera on both get a 16 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and an ultra-wide angle lens. On the OnePlus 70, this ultra-wide lens is also used for taking macro shots, while the OnePlus 8 gets a separate 2 megapixel macro sensor with f2.4 aperture. 70 gets another 12 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and a 51mm lens, which gives it 2x optical zoom. You don't get this lens on the OnePlus 8, so it has to rely on 2x digital zoom. At the front, both these phones again get the same 16 megapixel Sony IMX471 sensor. One on the 70 gets a slightly wider field of view and f2.0 aperture, while the one on the OnePlus 8 gets a much narrower f2.45 aperture. If we just look at the camera specs, OnePlus 8 doesn't even look like an upgrade over the OnePlus 70. But if you saw my dedicated camera comparison between these two phones, you know that the image signal processor on the Snapdragon 865 helps the OnePlus 8 deliver better results. Here are a few image samples from both these phones. I am not going to tell you which one is better. I would like for you to look at these images and decide for yourself which one looks better to you. I actually have a lot to say about the cameras on these phones, but if I do that in this video, it will be much longer than it already is. So if you want my views on the cameras of these two phones, I suggest you check out my dedicated camera comparison of these two phones. I will leave a card to it on the top right corner of the screen and also link it in the description section. There are over 60 image and video samples in that video from both these phones, so make sure you check it out. If you just want the gist of that video, I feel the 865 processor on the OnePlus 8 makes the images from its primary camera look better. There are more details in its daylight images, and the contrast and colors are also better from it. I also prefer the portrait shots from the OnePlus 8, but the 70 is much better at taking macros, and the selfies are also better from it despite of having the same sensor. For some reason, I also feel that the 70 does a better job than the 8 in lower lighting conditions. All that being said, the camera performance on both these phones can be greatly improved by using a compatible Gcam mod on them. If we are being honest, the difference in these images is not night and day, and the most average users won't even notice it if they are not comparing these images side by side. So you will have to be the judge if the difference in these images is worth the extra money to you or not. If I was making this choice, I would go with the OnePlus 8. Mainly because I like the colors in its images better, and I mostly take portraits with my smartphone, which as we saw are much better from this phone than the OnePlus 70. That brings us to the software, which can make or break the user's experience while using any phone. Both the phones are running the latest version of Oxygen OS, which is built for them on top of Android 10. This operating system is one of the main reasons that people choose OnePlus phones. It is simple, fast, yet feature rich, and for the most part, it stays out of your way, letting you enjoy the overall phone. Now the Oxygen OS hasn't been very smooth for the last year or so. I have experienced a few lags and stutters throughout the user interface, and that is on both of these phones. It is not anything major, and I have a feeling that most of the average users won't even notice it. But I still feel OnePlus needs to work on refining the software experience a bit. Software updates have never been an issue on OnePlus smartphones. They are quick and consistent at pushing out security patches and even major updates for your phones. OnePlus also promises 2 years of major software updates and 3 years of security updates on their phones. But looking at their past records, they do much better than that. So on the software front, both these phones are on even grounds. Looking back at all these things, for the extra money, OnePlus 8 is giving you a newer processor with better GPU, which results in slightly faster overall experience. 5G capability for whenever the networks are ready, better image signal processor so it takes better images with the same sensor which is on the OnePlus 70, a much better battery backup, software support for at least 6 months longer than the OnePlus 70, a bit more premium feel in hand thanks to the futuristic looking curved display, better placement of the notch which is not too intrusive while playing games, and finally having the satisfaction of owning a newer or the latest device from OnePlus. Now you have to decide whether these things are worth the extra 7k to you or not. My suggestion would be, if you are planning to use a phone for more than 2.5 or 3 years, spend the extra money and get the OnePlus 8. But if you are planning to upgrade to a newer phone again within the next 2 years, you can go with the OnePlus 70 and save yourself some cash. Even by going with the OnePlus 70, other than the better battery, you won't be missing on a lot. It all comes down to how much are all these benefits of the OnePlus 8 worth to you. Go through all these points again if you want to and make an informed decision. While I don't recommend upgrading to the OnePlus 8 if you already have the 70, but I know a small group of people will still want to do that. If you are one of those, please let me know in the comments the thought process behind your decision. If you are planning on purchasing any of these phones, I will really appreciate if you get them from the affiliate links in the description section. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if this video helped you and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.